Admiral Lirelei Moonwhisper stood on the bridge of her flagship watching the stars through the great viewing window. Her long silver hair moved like water as she turned to face the communication officer. The young elf looked worried as he handed her the datapad. The report made no sense. A massive ship had appeared in Sector 7 near the edge of known space. The vessel was huge like their biggest warships, but the design was all wrong. It used old fusion engines instead of proper star drives. The weapons were simple metal projectiles instead of energy beams. Most strange of all, the ship came from Sol 3. Lirelei knew that planet well. The Galactic Council had studied it many times over the past few hundred years. The creatures there called themselves humans, and they were still very primitive. Last reports showed they had barely learned to fly in their atmosphere. They fought wars with chemical explosives and rode around in metal vehicles that burned fossil fuels. Captain Thyro's Nightblade appeared on the main screen from his scout ship. His pointed ears were flat against his head, showing his concern. Behind him, other elves worked at control stations with worried expressions. The data is correct, Admiral. The ship is real, and it came from the human world. Our sensors show it traveled here, using some kind of space-folding technology we do not understand. The vessel is 2 kilometers long and heavily armed with kinetic weapons and nuclear devices. Lirelei felt a chill run down her spine. Nuclear weapons were considered primitive and barbaric by all civilized races. Only the most violent species still used such crude tools of destruction. If the humans had somehow developed star travel while keeping their savage nature, it could mean disaster for the galaxy. Scholar Sylviana Starweaver entered the bridge, carrying several data tablets. Her robes rustled as she walked, and her green eyes showed deep thought. She had been studying human transmissions for the past day, trying to understand what had happened. Admiral, I have reviewed all our intelligence on the human species. Something does not add up. Our last survey mission to their system was only 50 years ago. At that time they had not even achieved fusion power. The technological leap required to build that ship should take thousands of years, not decades. The communication officer spoke up from his station. Admiral, we are receiving messages from other fleets in the sector. The Vorthok Empire has dispatched 3 battle groups to investigate. The Crystalline Hegemony is sending their science vessels. Even the Saurian Republic is mobilizing ships. Lirelei closed her eyes and tried to think clearly. In her 300 years of service, she had never seen the galactic powers react so quickly to a single ship. The appearance of this human vessel was causing panic across known space. Meanwhile, on the human ship, Starfire Captain Lisa Morgan reviewed her mission logs in her small ready room. The walls were covered with family photos and star charts showing their long journey from Earth. She looked tired after 18 months of deep space travel, but her eyes still showed determination. Dr. Amy Carter knocked on the door and entered, without waiting for permission. Her brown hair was messy from working long hours in the science lab, and she carried a tablet showing sensor readings. Lisa, we are picking up multiple alien signatures on long-range sensors. One count at least 12. Different ship types approaching our position. The designs are unlike anything in our databases. I think we just made first contact with not one but several alien civilizations. Commander Kate Sullivan joined them in the ready room. Her military uniform was crisp, and her manner was all business. She had been monitoring communications from the bridge and looked concerned about their situation. Captain, the alien ships are taking defensive positions around us. Their formation suggests they view us as a potential threat. I recommend we prepare for possible hostile contact, while keeping our weapons powered down to show peaceful intent. Lisa stood up and straightened her uniform. She had trained for this moment her entire career, but the reality was more complex than any simulation. Earth had sent them to explore and make peaceful contact with alien life. Instead, they seemed to have stumbled into some kind of galactic crisis. Engineer Rosa Martinez called from the engine room over the communication system. Her voice carried a slight accent and sounded excited, despite their dangerous situation. Captain, I am reading some very interesting energy signatures from those alien ships. Their propulsion systems are far more advanced than ours, but their power generation seems less efficient. I think we might be able to learn from each other if we can avoid shooting at each other first. Back on the Aetherian flagship, the relay received reports from intelligence analysts who had been studying human media transmissions. The picture they painted was disturbing. Humans seemed obsessed with warfare and competition. Their entertainment showed constant violence, and their history was filled with conflicts. Admiral, the human broadcasts show a species that glorifies combat and aggression. They have weapons designed to kill their own kind, and seem to take pride in military might. If they have achieved star travel while keeping this nature, they could be extremely dangerous. Warlord Krex of the Vorthok Empire appeared on the communication screen. His massive form was covered in battle scars, and his tusks gleamed in the light of his ship bridge. Behind him, other Vorthok warriors prepared weapons and armor. Elf Admiral, why do we waste time talking when action is needed? This human ship threatens galactic stability. My warriors are ready to destroy it before it can call for reinforcements from its homeworld. Give the order, and the threat ends now. Lirelei raised her hand to silence the Vorthok leader. Her diplomatic training told her that rushing into battle without understanding the situation could make things much worse. If the humans had hidden their true capabilities for centuries, they might have other surprises waiting. Scholar Sylviana studied the human ship design more carefully. The construction was crude by galactic standards, but showed remarkable innovation. Instead of elegant energy systems, the humans had built multiple backup systems for every critical function. Where alien ships relied on advanced materials, the human vessel used thick armor and redundant components. The more she studied the ship, the more questions arose. How had such a primitive species developed faster than light travel? Why did their ship design favor durability over efficiency? Most puzzling of all, why had they revealed themselves now, after hiding their capabilities for so long? Captain Thyros sent another report from his position near the human vessel. His scout ship had the best sensors in the fleet, and was gathering detailed information about their technology and capabilities. Admiral, the human ship is scanning our vessels with some kind of sensor array. The readings suggest they are trying to understand our technology, just as we study theirs. They do not seem immediately hostile, but they are clearly gathering intelligence on our capabilities and weaknesses. On the Starfire, Dr. Amy Carter worked frantically to decode the alien communication frequencies. Her xenobiology training had prepared her to study alien life, but she had never expected to encounter so many different species at once. Captain, I am picking up transmissions in at least 6 different languages. The translation algorithms are struggling, but I think I can establish basic communication with at least one of the alien groups. They seem to be discussing whether we represent a threat to their civilizations. Commander Kate reviewed tactical data on her screens. The alien ships vastly outnumbered them and showed technology far beyond human capabilities. However, their formations suggested they were more worried about the Starfire than confident about defeating it. Lisa, the aliens are maintaining defensive positions, but they have not powered weapons or launched fighters. I think they are as confused about us as we are about them. They seem to be waiting for someone to make the first move. Rosa reported from engineering that their experimental jump drive was still charging for another spacefold. If needed, they could escape back toward Earth, but the aliens might follow them and discover humanity's homeworld. The decision of whether to run or stay would determine the future of human-alien relations. Admiral Lirelei made her choice. She ordered Scholar Sylviana to prepare a diplomatic message for transmission to the human vessel. The message would test human intelligence and intentions while avoiding any action that might trigger a galactic war. The fate of 2 civilizations now hung in the balance as both sides prepared for first contact that would change the galaxy forever. The War Council chamber aboard the Eternal Dawn buzzed with tension as representatives from 5 major galactic powers gathered around the holographic display. Admiral Leerley looked at each delegate as they debated the human situation. Their voices grew louder as fear and suspicion filled the room. Ambassador Zephyr from the crystalline hegemony spoke in harmonic tones that resonated through the crystal formations on his body. His species valued logic above all else and approached problems through careful analysis rather than emotion. The mathematical probability of primitive humans developing faster than light travel independently is less than 0.001%. Either our intelligence gathering has been fundamentally flawed for centuries, or these humans have received technological assistance from an unknown source. Fleet. Marshal Gornax of the Saurian Republic slammed his clawed hand on the table. His reptilian features showed anger, and his forked tongue flicked out as he spoke. The Saurians had built their empire through military conquest and viewed everything as a potential threat. Unknown source means hidden enemy. If humans have allies we do not know about, then our entire defensive strategy is compromised. We must act quickly before they can summon reinforcements or reveal our positions to their secret partners. Warlord Krex stood up to his full 3-meter height and crossed his massive arms. The Vorthok warrior culture respected only strength and viewed diplomacy as weakness. His battle-scarred face showed nothing but contempt for the careful discussions. You speak like frightened children hiding from shadows. One human ship causes this panic among the greatest military powers in the galaxy. We should destroy it now and study the wreckage to learn their secrets instead of cowering behind defensive formations. Scholar Sylviana projected her preliminary analysis of human culture onto the main display. The images showed human wars, competitive sports, and military ceremonies. To alien eyes, the humans appeared to be a species obsessed with violence and domination. My cultural assessment indicates humans are an extremely aggressive species that has never known true peace. Their entire civilization is built around conflict and competition. They glorify warfare and create weapons specifically designed to kill members of their own species. Admiral Leerley studied the human ship schematics that appeared on the hologram. The design philosophy was completely different from anything in galactic civilization. Where alien ships pursued elegance and efficiency, the human vessel emphasized durability and redundancy. On the engineer Rosa Martinez explained to her crew why their ship was built so differently from what they were seeing on the alien vessels. She gestured at the thick bulkheads and multiple backup systems that filled the engineering sections. See, these aliens build ships like art pieces, all smooth curves and minimal components. Very beautiful, but not very practical. Our ship may look ugly, but every system has 3 backups, and the armor can take hits that would cripple their vessels. Dr. Amy Carter worked on translating the first alien message they had received. The mathematical concepts were universal, but the cultural context was proving difficult to decode. The message seemed to assume humans were a client species serving more advanced masters. Captain, the alien communication appears to be addressing us as representatives of our overlords rather than independent actors. They seem unable to accept that we developed star travel on our own. The tone is extremely condescending, like they are speaking to children. Commander Kate Sullivan analyzed the alien fleet formations on her tactical display. The positioning showed both caution and confusion as the different species maintained distance from each other as well as from the human ship. Lisa, these aliens may be allies, but they are not unified. Each fleet is positioned to respond to threats from the others as much as from us. I think we stumbled into some kind of Cold War situation between multiple galactic powers. Captain. Lisa Morgan decided to respond to the alien message with a simple transmission showing human achievements in science, art, and exploration. She wanted to counter their assumptions about human nature while demonstrating Earth intelligence and culture. Back in the War Council chamber, the delegates received a human response transmission. The images of Earth showed a blue-green world with diverse ecosystems and peaceful cities. Human art revealed creativity and beauty that contradicted their assumptions about a violent warrior species. Scholar Sylviana looked confused as she analyzed the cultural data. The humans showed remarkable achievements in mathematics, medicine, and peaceful cooperation, yet their military history was filled with increasingly destructive conflicts using terrible weapons. Admiral, these humans present a contradiction. Their cultural achievements suggest a peaceful, intelligent species capable of great beauty and wisdom. However, their military development shows a species that has perfected the art of killing members of their own kind. Ambassador Zeph processed the new information through his logical frameworks. The data created mathematical paradoxes that his crystalline mind struggled to resolve. How could one species be both creative and destructive at the same time? This cultural duality does not compute within standard behavioral models. Species typically evolve toward either cooperation or competition, not both simultaneously. The humans appear to have achieved advanced civilization while maintaining primitive tribal instincts. Fleet Marshal Gornax dismissed the peaceful images as propaganda, designed to hide human true intentions. His military training made him focus on weapons capabilities rather than artistic achievements. The human ship still represented a potential threat regardless of pretty pictures. Cultural displays mean nothing when backed by nuclear weapons and kinetic bombardment systems. These humans may create beautiful art, but they also build tools of mass destruction. Beauty does not eliminate the threat they represent to galactic stability. Warlord Krex grew impatient with the extended discussions and cultural analysis. The Vorthok leader believed actions spoke louder than words and wanted to test human capabilities directly. He decided to force the issue with a demonstration of power. Enough talk. Words and pictures prove nothing about true intentions. I will fire a warning shot across their bow to see how they respond. Their reaction will tell us more about their nature than hours of cultural analysis. The Vorthok warship powered up its main plasma cannon and fired a bolt of superheated energy past the human vessel. The shot was calculated to miss, but demonstrate the power of galactic military technology. Krex expected the humans to either flee in terror or respond with inferior weapons. On the Starfire, automated defense systems detected the incoming plasma bolt and calculated its trajectory. Commander Kate watched in amazement as point defense lasers, designed to destroy space debris, automatically intercepted and dispersed the energy beam. Captain, our meteor defense grid just stopped their plasma weapon like it was a piece of space junk. The system was not even designed for combat, but it treated their shot as a navigation hazard and eliminated it automatically. Rosa Martinez studied the energy readings from the alien weapon and shook her head in disbelief. The plasma bolt was powerful but followed a predictable path that made it easy for human targeting. Systems to track and counter. Their weapon technology is impressive, but not very practical for real combat. That energy beam traveled in a straight line with no evasive maneuvers. Our point defense could stop a dozen shots like that without breaking a sweat. Dr. Amy Carter prepared a response message explaining that humans had defensive systems designed to protect ships from space debris and meteor impacts. She wanted to clarify that intercepting the plasma bolt was not an act of aggression, but simple, automated safety protocol. The alien delegates watched in shock as their most powerful weapon was casually defeated by what appeared to be a minor defensive system. The ease with which the humans countered the plasma bolt suggested their military technology was far more advanced than initial scans indicated. Warlord Krex stared at his weapons officer in disbelief. His most powerful cannon had been neutralized by what the humans claimed was an asteroid defense system. Either they were lying about its purpose, or their defensive capabilities were beyond galactic standards. Scholar Sylviana realized their assumptions about human technology were completely wrong. Instead of being primitive, the humans had simply developed along different evolutionary paths. Their engineering philosophy favored practical solutions over elegant theory. Admiral Lirelay ordered all fleets to maintain position while she considered this new information. The humans had just demonstrated that they could defend themselves against galactic weapons while claiming it was only basic safety equipment. On the Starfire, Captain Lisa decided to take initiative in the first contact situation. She ordered Dr. Amy to prepare a detailed response explaining human exploration goals and peaceful intentions. The message would include technical specifications to prove human technological independence. The galaxy was about to learn that human primitiveness was actually advanced engineering, disguised by different design, philosophy. The assumptions that had guided galactic policy for centuries were crumbling with each new revelation about Earth capabilities. Scholar Sylviana worked through the night, preparing a diplomatic message for the human vessel. Her experience in first contact protocols guided her as she crafted words intended to establish peaceful communication while maintaining authority in the situation. The message she created followed standard procedures for contacting primitive species. It offered protection under galactic law if the humans would submit to inspection and accept guidance from more advanced civilizations. The tone was meant to be helpful, but came across as extremely patronizing. Admiral Lirelay reviewed the message before transmission and approved its contents. Neither she nor Sylviana realized how insulting their offer would sound to an independent species that had achieved star travel through their own efforts. On the Starfire, Dr. Amy Carter received the alien transmission and immediately recognized the condescending nature of the communication. She called Captain Lisa to the bridge to review the message together before crafting a response. Captain, they are offering to protect us from other dangerous species if we agree to let them inspect our ship and technology. They seem to think we are some kind of lost colony that needs guidance from our betters in galactic civilization. Lisa felt anger rising as she read the translation. The aliens treated humans like children who had wandered too far from home without adult supervision. Their assumption that Earth needed protection showed complete ignorance of human independence and capability. Commander Kate Sullivan analyzed the tactical implications of the alien message. The offer of protection implied threat from other sources, while the demand for inspection suggested the aliens wanted to study human technology for their own purposes. Captain, this reads like a demand for surrender, disguised as diplomatic courtesy. They want access to our ship and our technology, while offering nothing concrete in return, except vague promises of safety from unspecified dangers. Dr. Amy crafted a response that demonstrated human intelligence and technological sophistication, while firmly rejecting the condescending tone of the alien message. She included technical specifications that would prove human achievement in multiple scientific fields. The response transmission reached the alien fleets simultaneously and caused immediate confusion among the delegates. The human message was far more sophisticated than expected and showed deep understanding of scientific principles that should be beyond primitive civilization. Scholar Sylviana stared at her translation screens in disbelief. The human response included mathematical proofs she did not recognize and technological concepts that challenged her understanding of physics. These were not the words of a primitive species. Ambassador Zeph processed the human technical data through his logical matrices and found numerous innovations that the crystalline hegemony had never considered. The human approach to energy manipulation was crude, but showed remarkable efficiency. Fleet Marshal Gornax focused on the military implications of the human message. They had politely, but firmly rejected galactic authority, while demonstrating technical knowledge that rivaled any species in known space. This suggested dangerous independence. Warlord Krex grew frustrated with the continued diplomatic exchanges. The humans had proven they could defend themselves and refused to submit to alien authority. In his mind, this made them either valuable allies or dangerous enemies with no middle ground. Captain Lisa decided to demonstrate human, peaceful intentions by sharing information about Earth exploration goals. She authorized Dr. Amy to transmit data about their scientific mission and their hope for mutual cooperation with galactic civilization. The transmission included images of human scientific achievements, medical advances, and artistic creations. It showed a species driven by curiosity and desire for knowledge rather than conquest and domination. The message contradicted every assumption about human nature. Rosa Martinez suggested taking a more proactive approach to first contact. Instead of just exchanging messages, they could demonstrate human problem-solving abilities by offering technical assistance to the alien fleets. Captain, I am reading power fluctuations in some of the alien ships. Their energy systems are very advanced, but not very stable. We could show good faith by helping them solve technical problems, using human engineering approaches. Back in the War Council chamber, the delegates struggled to reconcile the peaceful human messages with their assumptions about aggressive primitive species. The data simply did not fit any of their models for first contact scenarios. Admiral Lirelay called for a recess in the discussions so each delegation could analyze the human data privately. The complexity of the situation was beyond anything in galactic protocols for dealing with newly discovered civilizations. While the aliens debated long-range, sensors detected massive energy signatures approaching from the edge of the galaxy. The readings showed patterns associated with Void Hunter swarms moving through hyperspace toward inhabited systems. The Void Hunters were a plague that appeared periodically to consume entire star systems before vanishing back into deep space. Their biomechanical ships could adapt to any weapon, and their only goal was complete destruction of all life. Communication officer on the Eternal Dawn reported the sensor contacts to Admiral Lirelay, with obvious fear in his voice. Void Hunter swarms had destroyed several colonies in the past and represented the greatest threat known to galactic civilization. Admiral, we have multiple hyperspace signatures consistent with Void Hunter biomechanical vessels. Estimated arrival time is 6 hours. The swarm appears to be larger than any previously recorded incursion into civilized space. The news of approaching Void Hunters changed everything about the first contact situation. The assembled fleets that had gathered to contain the human threat now faced an enemy that could destroy them all, regardless of their technological superiority. Warlord Krex immediately began redeploying his ships into defensive formations optimized for fighting the hunters. His warriors had battled the creatures before and knew that conventional tactics were often useless against their adaptive abilities. Fleet Marshal Gornax ordered his vessels to begin charging their most powerful weapons systems. The Saurian Republic had lost 2 worlds to Void Hunter attacks, and would not allow another incursion to succeed while his fleet was present. Ambassador Zeph 4 calculated probability matrices for various defensive strategies against the approaching swarm. The mathematical models showed poor survival chances for any individual fleet, but better odds if all forces coordinated their efforts. On the Starfire, automated systems detected the hyperspace disturbances and alerted the crew to potential threats approaching their position. Dr. Amy analyzed the energy signatures and realized they faced something far more dangerous than diplomatic misunderstandings. Captain, these energy readings match theoretical models for hostile alien technology designed specifically for planetary destruction. Whatever is coming appears to be some kind of galactic threat that all these species recognize and fear. Commander Kate immediately began calculating defensive options for the human vessel. The Starfire was designed for exploration, not combat, against unknown alien threats. Their best option might be to retreat toward Earth space. Rosa Martinez studied the alien fleet formations and noticed they were repositioning into defensive patterns rather than maintaining their previous standoff positions. Something had changed the tactical situation dramatically. Captain Lisa faced the most important decision of her career. They could use their jump drive to escape back to Earth and avoid the coming battle. However, abandoning the alien fleets to face this threat alone would end any hope of peaceful relations. The approaching Void Hunters would test whether humans and aliens could work together against a common enemy. The misunderstandings and cultural assumptions that had dominated First Contact were about to become irrelevant in the face of extinction. Scholar Sylviana realized that human peaceful intentions were about to be tested in the most extreme circumstances possible. Would these aggressive primitives fight to defend strangers, or abandon aliens to save themselves? Admiral Lirelay prepared to send a message to the human vessel explaining the nature of the Void Hunter threat. The survival of both human and alien civilizations might depend on whether two species could overcome their differences in time. The galaxy was about to learn whether First Contact would end in cooperation or mutual destruction as the greatest threat in known space descended upon them all. The massive biomechanical shapes of the Void Hunter swarm tore through hyperspace like living nightmares. Their vessels pulsed with organic energy, while mechanical components adapted and changed to meet tactical requirements. Each ship was unique, yet part of a collective intelligence focused on total destruction. Admiral Lirelay transmitted an emergency message to all fleets, including the human vessel. The communication protocols abandoned diplomatic formality in favor of urgent tactical information sharing. Survival now mattered more than First Contact procedures. Attention all vessels. Void Hunter swarm detected approaching at 0.7 light speed. Estimated contact in 4 hours 30 minutes. All ships are advised to coordinate defensive measures immediately. This is not a drill situation, Captain. Lisa received the transmission and immediately called her senior staff to the bridge. The alien message included tactical data about the approaching threat that painted a terrifying picture of humanity. First encounter with galactic-level extinction events. Dr. Amy Carter analyzed the biological and technological data about Void Hunters while Rosa Martinez studied their adaptive capabilities. Commander Kate Sullivan began calculating defensive options for a ship designed for exploration rather than combat. Captain, these creatures are unlike anything in our databases. They appear to be biomechanical hybrids that can modify their technology in real time to counter any weapons used against them. Previous encounters show 90% casualty rates. Rosa Martinez proposed an unconventional solution based on human engineering philosophy. Instead of trying to match alien technology, they could offer their redundant systems and adaptive maintenance protocols to help repair battle damage during combat. Captain, our ship may not have the most advanced weapons, but our damage control systems are built for long-term independent operation. We could serve as a mobile repair facility for damaged alien vessels during the battle. Commander Kate pointed out that helping the alien fleets would require close coordination and shared tactical information. The humans would need to trust species they had met only hours earlier, while those same aliens would have to overcome their assumptions about primitive humans. Lisa, this plan puts us in the most dangerous position possible. We would be close to the fighting but not heavily armed enough to defend ourselves effectively. Our survival would depend entirely on the aliens protecting us while we repair their ships. Captain Lisa made the decision that would define human-alien relations for centuries to come. Instead of retreating to safety, she chose to stay and fight alongside the galactic fleets against the Void Hunter threat. All hands, this is the captain. We came out here to explore and make contact with alien civilizations. We found that contact, and now these civilizations face extinction. We will not abandon them to face this threat alone. Admiral Lirelay received the human response, offering technical assistance and coordination during the coming battle. The message demonstrated courage and selflessness that contradicted every assumption about human nature and primitive aggression. Scholar Sylviana worked frantically to establish communication protocols between human and alien systems. The battle would require split-second coordination between species that had never worked together and barely understood each other. Captain Thyros Nightblade maneuvered his scout ship close to the human vessel to begin tactical coordination. His crew included some of the best pilots in the Etheran fleet, but they had never worked with primitive kinetic weapons and nuclear explosives. Human vessel Starfire. This is Captain Thyros. My sensors show your ship carries chemical explosive warheads. Are these weapons effective against biomechanical armor, or should we focus on energy weapon coordination? Rosa Martinez responded with technical specifications for human nuclear warheads and kinetic penetration. She explained how the primitive weapons could be modified with alien shield technology to create more effective anti-hunter munitions. Etheran vessel, we can enhance our nuclear devices with your containment fields to create focused fusion explosions. Your shields could also accelerate our kinetic rounds to much higher velocities than our railguns can achieve alone. The idea of combining primitive and advanced technology had never occurred to the galactic powers. Their engineering philosophy pursued perfection through refinement, rather than innovation through combination of different approaches. Warlord Crix initially refused to coordinate with the human vessel, viewing cooperation with primitives as beneath Warthog warrior honor. Only when his flagship suffered damage from a hunter probe scout did he reluctantly accept human technical assistance. Dr. Amy Carter led a medical team to the damaged Warthog ship to treat wounded warriors. Her xenobiology training helped her adapt human medical techniques to alien physiology in ways that impressed even the proud Vorthok medics. The wounded Vorthok warrior looked up at the small human woman treating his injuries with techniques unknown to galactic medicine. Her gentle efficiency contradicted everything he had been taught about aggressive primitive species. Fleet Marshal Gornax coordinated with Commander Kate Sullivan to develop new tactical formations that combined human adaptability with Saurian military precision. The cooperation created defensive strategies neither species could achieve alone. Kate worked with alien tactical officers to position the human ship where it could provide maximum support while staying protected by alien shields and defensive systems. The formation required unprecedented trust between former strangers. Ambassador Zeph 4 calculated that hybrid human-alien technology showed efficiency improvements of 30 to 40% over pure alien systems. The mathematical benefits of cooperation were becoming impossible to ignore. The first Void Hunter scouts emerged from hyperspace ahead of the main swarm. Their biomechanical forms twisted and changed as they analyzed the defensive formations and began adapting to counter expected weapons and tactics. Captain Thyros engaged the scouts with modified weapons incorporating human innovations. The hybrid technology proved more effective than either species could achieve alone, as the hunters struggled to adapt to completely unfamiliar tactical approaches. Rosa Martinez monitored the battle from the Starfire engineering section, while her teams prepared emergency repair systems for damaged alien vessels. Her equipment was crude by galactic standards, but designed for field repairs under extreme conditions. The main Void Hunter swarm arrived in a wave of biomechanical horror that stretched across dozens of kilometers. Their ships moved like living creatures while technological components shifted and evolved to meet the defensive challenge. Admiral Lirelay coordinated the combined fleet response while marveling at how quickly human and alien crews had learned to work together. The species that had been enemies hours earlier now fought as unified force against extinction. Dr. Amy transmitted real-time biological analysis of hunter weaknesses to all fleet medical and science officers. Her xenobiology training helped identify vulnerable points in their biomechanical structure that weapons could target effectively. The battle intensified as hunters adapted to initial defensive measures and began overwhelming individual ships through sheer numbers and technological evolution. Only constant innovation and cooperation kept the defenders from being completely overrun. Commander Kate directed human damage control teams to alien vessels whose crews had been killed or wounded. The human teams worked frantically to keep damaged ships fighting while under direct enemy fire. Captain Lisa realized that their survival depended not just on military cooperation but on something deeper. Humans and aliens were learning to trust each other completely in circumstances where failure meant extinction for both civilizations. The Void Hunters had expected to face divided alien fleets using standard galactic tactics. Instead, they encountered an unprecedented alliance combining multiple species innovations into hybrid technologies they could not predict or counter effectively. Scholar Sylviana documented the battle while analyzing how quickly humans and aliens had overcome cultural barriers when faced with mutual extinction. The data would reshape galactic understanding of primitive species forever. The tide of battle hung in balance as both sides adapted and evolved their strategies in real time. Victory would go to whichever force could innovate faster while maintaining unity under extreme pressure. The combined fleet executed their desperate final assault against the Void Hunter command vessel. Captain Lisa guided the Starfire through a storm of biomechanical weapons while Rosa Martinez pushed their engines beyond safe limits to maintain formation with the alien ships. Human nuclear warheads enhanced with Etherin containment fields created focused fusion explosions that tore through Hunter bio-armor like nothing the creatures had encountered before. The hybrid weapons defied their adaptive capabilities because no single species had ever developed such technology. Dr. Amy Carter coordinated medical support across multiple species while analyzing Hunter biological weaknesses in real time. Her team saved alien lives using human techniques adapted for non-human physiology, creating bonds that transcended species barriers. Commander Kate Sullivan worked with alien tactical officers to exploit openings created by the hybrid weapons. The cooperation between human adaptability and alien precision created tactical opportunities neither species could achieve alone. The Starfire took massive damage as Hunter biomechanical tendrils wrapped around the hull attempting to drain their life support systems. Rosa Martinez activated emergency protocols that sealed damaged sections while rerouting power through backup systems the aliens thought were impossible. Captain Thyros watched in amazement as the human ship continued fighting long after any alien vessel would have been destroyed. Their redundant systems and damage control procedures kept critical functions operating under conditions that should have meant instant death. Admiral Lirale coordinated the final push against the Hunter command vessel while marveling at human courage under fire. These supposed primitives had volunteered for the most dangerous mission to save civilizations they had met only hours earlier. The Void Hunter command vessel began to collapse as hybrid weapons overwhelmed its adaptive capabilities. The biomechanical intelligence that controlled the swarm could not counter technologies that had never existed before the battle began. Warlord Krex lead Vorthok warriors in boarding actions against damaged Hunter vessels. Human medical teams followed the warriors to treat wounded aliens using techniques that saved lives. The Vorthok medics could not help. The massive Hunter command ship exploded in a burst of organic and mechanical debris that scattered across space. With their controlling intelligence destroyed, the remaining Hunter vessels lost coordination and began retreating toward deep space. Fleet Marshal Gornax ordered pursuit of fleeing Hunters while coordinating with human damage control teams to keep his damaged ships operational. The Saurian Republic had never worked so closely with another species during combat operations. Ambassador Zeph forecalculated final casualty statistics and found that cooperation with humans had reduced expected losses by over 60%. The mathematical proof of hybrid technology benefits could not be disputed by any logical analysis. On the heavily damaged Starfire, Rosa Martinez worked frantically to keep life support functioning while her crew sealed hull breaches with materials salvaged from destroyed alien systems. Their survival depended on innovations created during battle. Dr. Amy led rescue operations that saved both human and alien lives, without regard for species differences. Her teams worked in environments lethal to humans to reach trapped alien survivors. demonstrating courage that impressed even Vorthok warriors. Captain Lisa surveyed the battle damage to her ship and crew, while coordinating with alien vessels to ensure all survivors received medical attention. The Starfire could barely maintain life support, but her crew continued helping others. Scholar Sylviana compiled her observations of human behavior during the crisis into a complete revision of galactic understanding about primitive species. Her new report would revolutionize first contact procedures throughout known space. The evidence was overwhelming. Humans had proven their courage, intelligence, and capacity for cooperation under the most extreme circumstances possible. Every assumption about primitive aggression had been proven wrong by their selfless actions. Admiral Lirelay transmitted a formal message to Captain Lisa, offering humanity full membership in galactic civilization, with complete sovereignty over their home system. The offer included technology sharing agreements and mutual defense treaties. Lisa accepted the offer on behalf of humanity, while requesting that Dr. Amy Carter serve as the first human ambassador to the galactic community. Amy's knowledge of alien biology and proven diplomatic skills made her the ideal choice for the position. Captain Thyros volunteered to escort the damaged Starfire back to human space and establish the first permanent communication link between Earth and the galactic capital. His scout ship would carry news of humanity's heroic debut. Rosa Martinez began planning hybrid technology research projects that would combine human and alien engineering approaches. The innovations developed during battle could revolutionize ship design throughout the galaxy. Warlord Krex offered human cruise positions in Vorthok battle fleets based on their proven courage and medical expertise. The warrior culture had learned to respect humans as equals, rather than viewing them as primitive weaklings. Fleet Marshal Gornax proposed joint military exercises between human and Saurian forces to develop new tactical doctrines based on hybrid technology. The Republic wanted to incorporate human innovations into their defensive strategies. Ambassador Zeph requested permission to establish a research station in human space to study their unique approach to engineering and problem-solving. The crystalline hegemony wanted to learn from human adaptive capabilities. Dr. Amy worked with scholar Sylviana to establish cultural exchange programs that would prevent future misunderstandings between humans and galactic civilization. Their cooperation during the crisis had created a friendship between species. The journey home gave everyone time to reflect on how first contact had exceeded all expectations. Humanity had not just joined galactic civilization, but had helped save it from extinction through courage and innovation. Captain Lisa sat in her damaged ready room reviewing reports from the battle, while contemplating the future of human-alien relations. Earth would never be isolated again. Now that the galaxy knew about human capabilities and character, Scholar Sylviana transmitted her final report to the Galactic Council, documenting how humans had proven that primitive technology did not mean primitive wisdom. Her recommendations would reshape policies toward newly discovered civilizations. The Starfire limped through space toward home, carrying news that would change everything about humanity's place in the galaxy. They had come seeking knowledge, and instead became the teachers who showed advanced civilizations the value of cooperation. Rosa Martinez began designing new ships that would incorporate lessons learned from alien technology while maintaining human engineering philosophy. The next generation of human vessels would be truly galactic in capability. Dr. Amy prepared for her new role as ambassador by studying galactic politics and cultural differences between member species. Her medical training in dealing with diverse alien biology would serve her well in diplomatic settings. Commander Kate planned joint training exercises with alien tactical officers to develop new combat doctrines based on hybrid technologies. Human military doctrine would evolve to incorporate galactic strategic thinking. Admiral Lirelay ordered construction of the first galactic embassy on the Etheran homeworld, specifically designed to accommodate human physiology. The building would symbolize the new era of cooperation between species. As the Starfire approached, Sol System Captain Lisa transmitted a message to Earth, explaining their successful first contact mission. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and had already proven themselves worthy of respect among the stars. The galaxy had learned that true advancement came not from technological superiority, but from the courage to help others, and the wisdom to work together. Humans had taught this lesson through actions rather than words. The future stretched ahead, filled with possibilities for cooperation, exploration, and mutual growth. First contact had ended, not with conquest or submission, but with friendship and alliance between equals, despite their different origins. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in building a better galaxy for all sentient species.